And I am very excited today to welcome Joanna. Joanna, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
And, and welcome everyone to the show. We have a couple people that are joining already. Just let us know if you can hear and see us. We are going to do some mini readings towards the end of the show, but the first half of the show, it is an introduction to Joanna and comparative tarot. So if you want to hold your personal questions for now, this would be wonderful. I will put a note in the chat. Um, and maybe I will let Joanna introduce herself at this time.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Joanna, and a little bit about me. I always felt uneasy about embracing my intuitive side. And then in 2022, an unusual event happened after some meditation and prayer. I started to be able to see light energy, and it um, is quite overwhelming to see it. Now, I couldn't see it with my own eyes. I could only see it via my security cameras. We have 10 of them throughout the property. And when this first started, um, it was hard for me to kind of believe it was happening, but my husband could see it. I've recorded it. It's on, I've uploaded it to YouTube. So anyone who wants to see it can see it. There's a video where my husband's interacting with it. But despite all of his reactions and despite everything that in my interactions with it, he still will not accept it. And Nate, you had told me that it's okay. Some people won't
Uh-huh.
understand us sensitives. And I mean us as in your whole community. There's a
Light
reason why
work.
people there's a reason why people are attracted to you and to like the Irish granny. And so there's a reason that we are our own community. So after 3 years of documenting all of this light interaction and meditation, I um, decided to start working with people to see the tarot cards in a different way, kind of as if you go to a museum and you see a beautiful subjective painting. In fact, what brought me to you is that beautiful painting behind you. I
Mhm.
just love it. It's like we're entering a portal. There's all the different colors in it that can represent different uh, chakras. And
Energies and
so,
chakras and layers of auras. And
yes.
just to kind of take it where you left it from, Joanna, you had this mystical experience. You have realized some of your connections with the other side, even though that was through CCTV cameras. Let's just that's the technical name, and you have been able to capture the energies of those beings through this lens. And
Through
so,
technology.
yes, and so you have been, in my view, a spiritual documentalist as well as amplifying your abilities as a light worker and expanding your dimension through different types of tools like the tarot, etc. And so a lot of the viewers and the people on the chat right now are on their own in their own spiritual journey, like me, like you, like everyone else who's here. And I think it would be interesting for you to express in your own words, how would you describe your own spiritual journey?
Oh, years and years and years and years and years and years. I can't say years enough. Pi, years of denial because I grew up in a very religious household. Even though I was spiritual and we were told to listen to that still small voice, the Holy Ghost within us, helping us know right from wrong or uh, uh, to care about people, that was presented as everything outside of ourselves. And so I could feel um, beauty when I
Mhm.
would go to the ocean and I'd sit and I'd listen to the ocean. I could even feel touched when I watch a Disney movie and cry when Simba's dad died. So so I think that spirituality is everywhere. It's not limited to a religion. And so that's when I started to turn to myself and my own trusting myself and um, especially my higher self. And I when I pray, I do invite my higher self to help speak to me along with the God consciousness, the creator, whether it is the universe. It's the name doesn't matter. It's universal.
The
And
source,
so,
universe,
yes,
God, the matrix, call it the way you want, call it with the way that you're familiar with, as long as you understand that it's a higher power.
yes, exactly. Exactly. So, as I was trying to embrace all of this light energy, because there's orbs all the time in and out of, of my home. And so I booked a an appointment with you. And oh, but first, I also took your intro to how to do your own Oracle deck, which was a wonderful class. So if anyone hasn't taken it, they should look through your program, or maybe you should put it in the link so that if anyone wants to sign up for that. So that's kind of how I met you, and then I signed up to talk with you through a reading. But it wasn't just like reading the cards. We had an actual conversation about spirituality, which is kind of what I needed to push me over the edge and start trusting my intuition and start trusting the higher power and the God consciousness that continually talks to me. um so anyway, that's my journey.
And I want to comment on that a minute because this is not easy for someone who has come from this whole journey, especially living in an environment where you don't feel validated and maybe you can be called crazy, or this is something in your mind, or it's all made up, or well, if that makes you happy, just believe it. That's so easy to feel this way. From this point to come to where we are here right now, this second, on a screen, in front of people, it takes such courage. It takes such effort and courage. And so I want to acknowledge you and validate you for coming here and presenting yourself, because it is a little bit of a coming out energy for you.
Hmm.
You've been on other channels, but this is kind of your another way of being introduced. And so a couple messages that I want to say here before we dive into the tarot. First of all, there were some people asking Sky if you can ask questions. Yes, we will take some questions, but really for now, we want to concentrate at least the good first half of the show on a little bit of the journey, and then we'll take some questions towards the end, but we want to talk about a number of things first. So if you want to hold your questions, we really appreciate it. Um, the and we will talk about tarot and comparative tarot and a method that you have created, and so that's also going to be very important to discuss that. Um, but this is also kind of based on your journey and what has happened for the close to 100 people that are here right now, realize that they're also on their journey. They're also gonna are in this kind of coming out process of their own, and it's like everyone being on their own track. And it's like going to a yoga class. You're not competing with anyone. You're gonna have people that are gonna be able to flip and do those things. And for you, just being able to stand on one leg is an achievement. We're all on our own track. It's not about being better, it's about being in this process. So the first point I wanted to um, make here is that there is a sense that welcoming Joanna to her own coming out process and also validating everyone else's journey. And we all recognize different steps in our journey. So I hope that makes sense to you, Joanna, primarily.
That is a great way of saying that. For the first 2.5 years, all of the videos on the YouTube that I had uploaded did not have my picture on it, leaving, you know, I felt very self conscious about myself, not only in regards to how I look, but it's also, you know, trusting my uh, higher self
Mhm.
to to put myself on screen made me feel really vulnerable.
Yeah,
So
of course it does. Of
so the
course.
shadow work, another thing toward you, the shadow work class is doing wonders. I just really love it. And that's another thing that kind of kicked my tush
Thank
and
you. And the
yeah.
way that, frankly, I was thinking is this eclipse class is bringing transformation, and maybe we are actually living through in this moment one of those transformation of you come from the shadow to the light.
I think I mentioned it in the members class. Um, I'm not afraid of failure because in daily life, I fail all the time. I try to make a basket with a piece of trash and it lands on the ground. So, um, little things like that happen every day. So I'm not afraid of failure. I'm afraid of success.
Mhm.
And so, because then what if people really do believe me? What if people have actually experienced that? I am not a prophet. I am not a uh, seer. I haven't. Well, I don't ever want to be a prophet, but I would like to help people. I would like to help people on their their journey to accept who they are and accept their spirituality. Um, because I'm 60 and to be having denied it since I was a child is has been a long road.
It is. Maybe we can switch a little bit to um, a method that you have designed as a way for you to help people. Just to put in simple words, do you want to talk a little bit about your method?
Um, my method is mostly I'd like to listen,
Uh-huh.
and I'm not uh, a psychologist or anything in any way, but I think a lot of us have the same um, goals, especially light workers. They have the same goals. They need a safe place to talk about it. They That's another reason why I think tarot cards are important. The first time I had an actual reading, I think I was 18, and they used the classic Rider White deck, and that's kind of scary. The pictures are all drawn in the uh, early 1900s, right? Uh, like in 1909, I think. And they are, back then there was only a certain kind of printing, and it was very like yellow, red, not the full color spectrum like in the tarot cards that you read. It's very Renaissance, and the pictures are so beautiful. But there's so many other decks that can express the same message, but then in a way that might feel safer and less scary. But comparing all of the decks helps you focus on what the cards actually mean to you, and how they are actually speaking to you and your subconscious, and it's letting you connect in that way.
And that's perfectly on point with some examples that you've selected on a card, which is the first card in the major arcana, which is the Fool. And before we show the audience a little bit that, just wanted to kind of share with you some of the nice comments that people are leaving. I think you can see at the screen here. uh, People are commenting how amazing and gorgeous you are. People
I've got them fooled.
People really Prairie, I know she put a lot of very nice comments about commenting about kind of the whole path that you have been through. Krusty Waffle, the documentation of the eclipse path, which is what we discussed before. A lot of very, very positive feedback that you're receiving from the audience, and I'm doing it because it's deserved, but also I know it's giving you a little boost as we're going through this interview, and so I thought I would do that. The the first card, you wanted to share some of the examples of the full card, and so would you like me to present maybe them as we go? So the first one being,
Yeah.
you
Well,
have a
let's start with
the
with yours, if that's
okay.
okay.
Okay, so I can talk about it. This is from my deck, the Mystical Tarot of the Saints, and I have the box somewhere here. Yep, here. It's a tarot deck that I created because I wanted to honor the saints, and the reason that the Fool, which is the very beginning energy, I created this way. We It is Saint Expedite because expedite, there's no time. It's the now, and it's the number 0, and so among other aspects, this is why I associated with this card, because you pray to Saint Expedite when you want something to happen right away. And I have experienced that in my life, and gotten some really good successes. So this is basically how I interpreted the idea of the Fool, the sense of now, the here and now, and the immediate, the number 0, the very beginning. It's that energy. But yes, go ahead, Joanna.
For for me, I love this deck, and for someone who is fighting the mainstream spirituality into accepting who they are, and getting that connection, because our higher selves, our I am selves, if we are created by a creator, we have that creator's DNA. And so when I see your card specifically, I have that tie into my former religious faith. I wasn't Catholic, but former religious state with my spirituality now. And what I see in this card, I see both of his feet are stable on a rock. And growing up in the faith that I grew up in, there's a scripture, I think in Matthew, but it is build your foundation on the rock, not on the sand, because when the rains come, the sand will wash away. And if you're
Mm.
not standing on the rock, you will be uh, secure. So I really like that about this Fool. There is, in other tarot decks, the Fool is standing on one foot, but all the tarot decks, they're moving forward. All the tarot decks except for one. And I have that example under the Light Seers Tarot. Can you see
Let,
that?
yes. And a lot
So
of people love the Light Seer Tarot because it has a very flowy, easygoing energy. It's a soft tarot. I actually don't have it, but this is one of those decks that I've always kind of come to me um, as a deck that I could have, but it's definitely one of the reader's favorites.
this was the first deck that I ever bought, and it's what made me less afraid. See, now I can compare that to the Rider Waite deck and understand so much more. But instead of moving forward like most of the tarot decks that I have, she's actually letting go and she's falling backward and she's trusting that the universe will take care of her. She has an amethyst in her right hand, and then she has a wand or a staff in the other. So the staff reminds me of kind of like uh, in your deck. It is authority, but yet she has her intuition. And as she's falling back, the pool is like, is that the flower of life? Um, at least that's what it resembles to
Feel
me.
like- Yes, very much.
So this is very freeing and spiritual in a different way. So that's why it's one of my favorite decks. Also, the yellow reminds me of sunshine and hope and light. And so there's so much to look at when you look at any tarot card, um, to find the symbolism and the meaning to you. My daughter's favorite color is yellow. So when I see this, I'm often prompted to think of her. So that's how, when people say, how do I use the tarot? It's all an interpretation of what you see and what you feel.
Mhm. You have also another example. You won't get to which one, Joanna?
We could show the White Sage Tarot. That's a sweet and fun
Yes, that's
little.
always a cute.
Mhm. And they're all animal based. And here, the Fool, to me, he looks much more independent and playful. And so he's also kind of marching or trotting to his future, his adventures. And so, in a way, we need to kind of be like this little terrier. And the terriers are also very tenacious. So so those are things that you can think of what you actually associate with the image itself. It's like subjectively going to a museum and looking at all the beautiful artwork and so forth. Um, that's how you can integrate it into uh, who you are and what you think.
And then maybe the next one, the ancestral path.
Oh,
Uh,
that one's fun. It's actually huge, so it doesn't shuffle too well. But you can always play 52 pickup, right? Or 78 pickup. But this one is I think a lot of fun, especially the Fool, because she's holding her own destiny in her hand, and it's the same look as what you're seeing. And so it's, when we look in a mirror, behind a mirror, and we just keep seeing ourselves through eternity. And so she has her cards laid out there, and she's choosing her future. She's choosing what to adventure she wants to experience.
go. Yes, I love that she's holding her power in her own hands, literally. Um, you have also shared with me, obviously, the Rider Waite.
Mhm,
That's very classic tarot, a beginner's tarot. Mhm.
mhm. Now, the reason I like this particular one is there are many things associated with the different cards. For instance, the Fool is represented by the element of air and the planet Venus. And so that is also um, things to take into consideration in regards to astrology
Yes.
and so there's so many aspects of it. And this particular deck gives you a little bit more information to process um, mentally. We have our intuition, and then we have, uh,
Pointers.
yes, yes, thank you,
Mhm.
to help us integrate everything.
And then you also shared with us the ethereal visions,
Mhm.
which is
I like
also
that.
see the dog, which is, you see here, the
Here
dog
he looks
being
like he's warning people, like
there's
it's a warning.
as well.
And
That's,
he's,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
he
it's
looks happy
rare.
to.
Like in the White Sage, you see the dog being the primary focus, but usually it's the secondary element of the card.
Mhm. Yeah. I like the very Art Nouveau type of look about it. So,
Yes. Oh, did we miss it? Yes. Um, I also wanted to share three other cards that I have, but there's a few people asking about the name of your YouTube channel, Joanna.
okay. Um, it is YouTube at EtherealLogic, ETHEREALOGIC, I think. EtherealLogic.
We
Um,
will find it. Yes.
yes. And ETHEREALOGIC. Yes. And then that is brand new that I created for a website. Actually, being
I
brave enough to put myself in the corner and talk about the experiences. The actual website where I've documented everything is Ethereal Light Energy at on YouTube. So that is kind of boring sometimes because it shows 20 minutes of light activity um, in some of the recordings that I've taken off of my security system. uh, I was doing them in like 30 seconds or whatever, but there's too much to leave off, so I've used that as my document channel. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. I also wanted to share the Osho deck tarot, the Fool on the Osho deck tarot. Yes, like this, which is also a beautiful card. Um, and this is really the idea of taking a risk, taking a chance. Um, I like this card particularly, in this, the Fool in this deck. And Sky Brights, thank you for bringing. I believe this is the one, Joanna.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
that's what I use to document everything. So
Okay.
it documents the whole thing. The thing that's funny is we had this security system in place for 11 months before this started happening. So 11 months, there was nothing unusual about my property or about my home. I never saw orbs or anything. And to even prove that it wasn't this particular security system, this Linux system, because we had 8 cameras then, I bought a whole different manufacturer camera and I put it on the opposite side of our yard so that it could act as a parallax to see if it was just one camera. It's on every camera, regardless of the manufacturer. So I don't know how my husband can say, "Oh, they are camera spots on all 10 cameras," but he does.
The other two decks to finish on the Fool is my Marseille deck. It's actually called Le Mât, which is the Fool, and we still see the man here with the dog. You can see the dog also there, very very much grabbing his butt, trying to hold him back with his behind, but also kind of a common. See that the gaze is looking up. It's never looking straight or down. And that's like a traditional Marseille deck. And then I have the Cosmic Wisdom, and that's just a selection of decks because obviously that's my passion and that's what I have the most in my life is tarot decks, oracle decks. The Cosmic Wisdom, um, it's you've seen this in my readings. We also see the dog here. It has a very strong feminine um, and energy. In this case, we see more of a woman rather than a man, and the dog grabbing the leg this time, and so kind of that same energy. This deck, just as a side comment, has a very strong um woman's energy, which I like. But one of the things that I find pretty cool about it, and I'm looking for this card, it doesn't say the hanged man, it says the hang one.
Mhm.
You see the word one because it's non-binary, and I think that's pretty cool. And so I wanted to kind of share that. The point here that we're trying to make is Joanna is using in her consultations the comparative tarot as a way um, to go deeper into someone's question. So um, the non-binary, yeah, I will answer that, Sky Right. It's called the Cosmic Wisdom from Eternity. And so Joanna uses that. And did you open consultation, Joanna? Is it officially open?
Yeah, I have. I will. I've been working on my website. I've got
Yeah.
that almost done. I just don't have a way to link a Stripe or a PayPal as of yet. I'm learning. Technology is scary, but
It is.
speaking of non-binary, if you look at the classic tarot,
Uh-huh.
the fool could he looks like it could be a she also.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
true.
you can't tell. And in the classic, there is so much symbolism there. A rose, a white rose is purity. There's just tarot is full of so much symbolism. Oh, and I wanted to show you the hanged and this one says the hanged one too. Sorry, I have hand
Oh,
tremors. And
yes.
it is just really
Beautiful.
beautiful thought
Really,
thought
really beautiful.
provoking. So
Yeah.
so once again, there is a non-binary theme, and even if it does show masculine energy, it still applies in many different ways. So
Yes. I have shared Joanna's information on the post. If you go on my what used to be called community page, now it's called post. So you go on my page, and Joanna's website is listed there. So if you want to go there, and I think from there people can contact you, right?
yeah, my
There's a
email is there.
yes, and so um, you can find John, and I will put as a pin message also below this particular show. So you'll have a way to get to Joanna's YouTube channel where she shares the uh, spiritual energy that she has around her home, as well as her website. Joanna, is there anything else that you wanted to share regarding this whole process? Otherwise, we can, after that, we can take a few questions, and I would love to read and have you also share what you see for the questions if you're up for it.
Mhm. Um, and in the 2 seconds that you finished, if you're up for it, I forgot the first half of what you had.
Oh, yes. Is
Oh,
there any?
what I wanted, I'm
Sure.
hoping for the community at large. My hope is that you will all learn to trust yourself and let go of what husbands or brothers or uncles or even sons. My son rolls his eyes at me um, sometimes when I wear a certain crystal or whatever. But you know what? That's their journey. We're only concerned with our journey, and that's why we are attracted to other members in the community. And when I participate in your live streams and I read the comments of others, I just want to send everyone so much love because I understand the fear, especially the fear that's surrounding our world right now. And since we can't necessarily control all that, we can trust our inner selves and our higher self and the God consciousness to be there for us.
And I want to thank you on behalf of my channel and the community because you're definitely one person that has offered the most memberships to my channel. And so I wanted to recognize you for being such a lot of people that might be here today have received, your memberships. And so thank you, Joanna, for doing that. And also, like I said, the courage that it takes to be presenting yourself and on top of it live, which makes it even more challenging, but you're handling it beautifully. So I wanted to um, say that we are going to take a couple questions. Jonah, do you want me to pull some cards and then have you comment on my cards, or do your own cards, what you're the most comfortable with?
Why don't you go ahead? You go ahead and do that. And if I see
Okay.
anything in particular, um, I can share that with uh, the querent.
Okay. Okay. And we are going to take random questions. You don't have to donate. I just want to say that this is open for everyone. There's a couple people that donated. I want to get their questions first, but you don't have to. Really, you don't have to. Um, we're doing this really in the spirit of, I think, with Joanna's energy and understanding, the different views we can have a particular card. So Florence is asking, and thank you, will my new determination and reward increase exponentially? Will my new determination and reward increase uh, exponentially? So the card that I pulled here is understanding. So when you see this card, Joanna, what are the keywords and the messages that are coming through you?
Well, in regards to the question um, and the picture itself, it's trusting yourself in order to let yourself fly. So if you're willing to use that determination to let go and let God, that's the saying that people use all the time. But then there's also something that comes to mind, and it's the wise lyrics of the Rolling Stones that says, you don't always get what you want. If you try sometimes, you just might get what you need. And I remember asking that same question in the prayer before all of this started. And I'm a writer. And so I was praying to God saying, hey, give me proof undeniable proof of my talents, and I was hoping that it would be becoming a writer and having my work published. Well, that's not what I didn't get what I wanted. I got something that said, okay, you need to step out of your comfort zone because 5 days later, all of this light activity happened.
Mhm. I see.
So the reward for my determination has increased exponentially.
Actually,
But it wasn't what I thought, but I trusted enough to let go.
I love
So
it. I
that's what
think,
I see in the card.
and to me, yes, this will increase, but there's an understanding of, letting it go and trusting. I think this is the key here. Um, Cassandra is asking, when do you see me getting a new job? I'm gonna use this deck here. When do you see me getting a new job? Okay, let's use these two cards here. The Knight of Swords, and then we have the Three of Pentacles. And so, kind of putting you again to work, Joanna. What would you tell Cassandra?
Um, well, the night being first, you're charging into um, an area that you're not sure of, but there is angelic help for you, which is, it feels like it's out of reach, but it's still there. So there's going to need to be some stick to itiveness, along with the trust that there is help out there for you.
And personally, when I get those cards, you definitely need to push through. And the question was when? Three of Pentacles. I feel like you'll get a job within 3 months. And I see people helping you, like in this card. So think about what I'm getting more from an intuition perspective, not just applying to websites, but also to people that to people, like your network, that kind of stuff. And I would say within 3 months. We had also Mr. Maurice. What do the cards see for me on April 2nd for the day overall? For the day, and thank you, Maurice, for the day. This is very interesting. April 2nd, and the card that I pulled is the 2, so the number 2, 2 of Wands, and then we have the Queen of Cups. So what do you pick up of that, Joanna?
For me, the Two of Wands is an option. It looks to me, it looks like an option, but and seeing the card is harder online than it is for me to see it if I was holding it. Sometimes when you're holding a card, you also get
Feel.
impressions in
Mhm.
regards to that. But is he holding like a crystal ball or
Yes,
something
a,
also?
a globe. It's a globe.
Oh, yes. So I think that that is important symbolism that your own higher self can tell you. Also, the wand that he's actually holding on his hand, it is a form of strength. And so I would think that to me, it would mean I don't really need to depend on something ahead of me. I've got all the
Mhm.
strength that I need as I'm holding that. But then the cups, it's already in your hands.
Everything's in your
So
hands, and those two
that's
cards.
true.
Everything.
That's true. Hmm.
So, Maurice, you have it in your hands, you have it in you. With the wands here, it feels like this is related to a work question, activity, project, work question. As a word of advice, I would make sure that your emotions don't run you. You see a little bit of that tension in those two cards. What you're focusing on, your logic, your projects, but also your emotions. You have everything in you to be successful. Don't let your emotions and your nervousness get the best of you. Okay. Um, Susan, a card from the guides. This one's pretty interesting. The Two of Swords. What do you feel her guides are telling Susan?
Well, most Two of Swords have the blinders on.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the blinders are like not accepting who your guides can speak to you. And that's so easy to say, but hard to believe. Because for me, especially with the orbs and some of the activity around my house, I will get inspiration and I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm always doubting. I am the biggest doubting Thomas that there is. And I think this is saying you need to trust and remove some of this off and let us speak to you um,
Mm-hmm.
correctly.
And it's also, for me, adding on to that, a little bit of a crossroads situation. You have a decision to make. There's two paths here. So the guides are telling you what um, what are you going to be deciding? Yes. And so that's important. Virgo's groove. What is influencing my ex actions towards me right now? My ex actions towards me. And those where it gets interesting, because with YouTube, I sometimes there's artistic nudity. Yeah. So we have the lovers, which is interesting because Virgo's groove asking about an ex, and we have a lover's energy. So there's definitely a sense of connection, a sense of relationship, a sense of that past energy that is coming back. Yes, we're no longer in Mercury retrograde, but we're in the shadow. And Mercury retrograde typically brings exes back into your life. And so I would say that there's still an energy from your ex connected with this love energy.
Can I hold on just a second if that's okay? Because I have a card I'd like to show her. Okay. The feeling that I got kind of reminded me of this. I don't know if you can see this, lovers. Um, and when I saw that, I thought of Harry Potter and how Ron really wanted something, but well, sorry, the writer in me, I'm sorry, this is the analogy I have to use, but Voldemort created this image that was a false image of Hermione and Harry, and it was absolutely destroying Ron because he loved Hermione. And so Ron had to take a sword and he went and cut through it. And he was able to realize that the um, the picture that he was seeing wasn't as clear as it was meant to be.
Very good. Bunny, a, a small reading on her future. the Eight of Pentacles. And so obviously in this card we see money, but it's not necessarily money. It's also hard work and precision work. This man works with the detailed work of watches. And so I would say that there's maybe some hard work to do, to consider. And I will pull another cards. And the King of Wands, it's also an energy of work and projects. And so those two cards give me the sense of there may be some work ahead of you. It's maybe not so much of a phase of thinking, maybe a phase of doing, actually. Did you want to comment on something, Joanna?
No, I think to me the Eight of Pentacles gives you options. And in the Light Sage Tarot, I know it's so hard to see, but there are silver dollars on each side, and then a yellow ribbon. And to me, yellow is friendship, it's sunshine. I don't necessarily think that there is any wrong or right options for your future. I think it's a matter of trusting yourself in which direction you want to go.
My friend Kyle, which is also a reader on YouTube, and you should definitely all check Kyle's channel. Kyle, you should definitely feel free to put it in the chat so people can enjoy and also subscribe to your channel. And I'm sorry, I saw your email actually about being scammed. This is an awful. I've been scammed. Maybe a number of um, you or have been scammed. It's an awful feeling, particularly when we are vulnerable. I have been scammed on a project that was very dear to me, and that's where we are the most vulnerable, because that's where we are the most to believe anything, because we want this to go forward. um, and so should she try to get her novel published or self-publish? What's the energy around the publishing of her novel? The Queen of Swords. I definitely it's not giving you the answer. It's telling you that you have the power. You have to do what feels the most right to do. And I'm getting Kyle, that you have to make a decision. I don't think you can wait for this decision. Maybe this scam was a call for you to make a decision quickly about this. It's actually, I also kind of want to put this out there. When something like that so bad happens, our first reaction is, why did it happen to me? And you also want to think about, why did it happen for me? And so why did this scam happen for you? It's also because they want you to make a decision. And the way that I see this card, to me, leans more towards self-publishing, because you have the sword within your own hands, and the sword is communication. And so that's kind of what I'm picking up. Did you pick up anything, Joanna?
I'm going to talk about some, and I hope you don't mind, Kyle, about as an author. If you are a children's writer, there's some groups that are really excellent. Society of Children's Book Writers and Editors is a great community that you can join. I don't know if you've had a strong critique group, but the card that Nath had showed all kinds of butterflies around it. And the butterflies is a community that you need to involve yourself in. So if you want to self-publish again, get some other opinions, maybe have your book critiqued in a group. If you don't have a group near you, see if you can form your own group, or something to re read your work, share it with enough people, and then if you wanted to self-publish, you could publish it again, or you can also try to go the traditional way. The traditional way is really hard because publishers have, and I haven't been published yet, but I've been told this by many different editors and agents. You have to now have a platform, and they want to see a platform of tens of thousands of followers, which, for many authors is scary. Uh, Trying to get that following if you haven't already been published. You have a platform that you can already stand on. Maybe it's time to integrate all of that, and bring your writing ability in with your seer ability.
Mhm.
That's what I got from the card.
Thank you, Joanna, and thank you, Suzel. Um, a message from her, from my brother to Suzel. Today is his birthday, so that's very special. A message from your brother. A message from your brother. I know this was Virgo's Grove said, Nate, we can see it on your face when you pull the cards. Yes, I'm called a high display. I can't hold it. The star. That's my favorite card. Let's just start with that. But I assume that your brother is in the star, and the star is a card of hopes and dreams and everything that you can hope for. And so I feel that that's him in the star, him being a star, him seeing you as a star, and it's basically a support of all your hopes and dreams. You like this card, Joanna?
Oh, I think it's beautiful.
I know.
The artwork, the fact that the star is shining directly above. Um, uh,
Ahead. Yeah.
yes, that's just gorgeous. It's almost as if it's saying, "Don't worry about me. I'm fine. I'm still looking out for you, um, and I'm here."
Yes. In my deck, that's one of the cards that I love the most, because that's my favorite card. I know I said that, but I have used the star. I'm looking for it as the Three Kings, because, and I hope to find it here somewhere. Um, where is it? Of course, it's gonna be the last one, right? And yeah, the Three Kings. That's the star, and the Three Kings looking at the star. And so I just like really, really touch me when I see this. It's comparative deck, very, very different imagery, but the meaning is very much the same.
Yes, he's guiding. He's guiding you, and
And
always there.
uh, Irene, her brother, just because there was such a transition from one brother to the next, just passed yesterday, and feeling so deeply sorry about your loss. Really, really hard, Irene. So let's pull a card on a message. Of course, if he just passed yesterday, he has his own journey ahead of him on the other side, but maybe he has a message for you, Irene. And it's interesting because it's almost like stars, the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles, in a number of decks, we see, actually, including this one, you see a family, you see the grandpa, the parents, the children. It has the three generations. And so it's talking about the whole family. It's talking about your is connection with your whole family, is connection with the generation, um and so it's everyone who is around, um that is that is it's a sense of community within your family. And so yes, there's a sense of peace. Anything you want to comment on, Joanna?
For me, I immediately notice all of the pentacles around. And to me, that represents energy and orbs and spirits from around you, not only your brother, but it could be grandparents, it could be ancestors 10 generations back. We are all energy. When we die, we become energy again, only to reincarnate or travel throughout the universe. And that's what I see. I see that, you and your sister may be here, but you are surrounded by loved ones. You are surrounded um, by people that love you, even though you can't see them. He's there with them.
Beautiful. Jen Lily, when will my next opportunity to become a tax auditor? I applied for a position in March 26, but I feel it may not be a great fit. It's interesting. The Four of Wands. The Four of Wands to me always look at the number four, the four legs of a chair. So there's a sense of stability. And so that tells me that yes, you will find a tax auditor position that feels stable. Now, I also got the Queen of Cups, which we also got today. The Queen of Cups is your emotions. And so the tax auditor might pay your bills and might be, part of what you do, what you to stay and to have a stable foundation in your life. But they're telling me that you owe yourself to stay connected with your passion. And you can do both your passion, your creativity, your intuition, anything like that. Anything you want to say about the Four of Wands, Joanna?
Well, I think it's interesting that there is someone behind Jen that's doing some supporting also. So that could be your own higher self that says, go ahead and whatever you choose is okay. You're safe, but there's another side too that you can explore and develop alongside your tax auditor. If once again, like you had mentioned, Nath, um, pays the bills, don't forget about that other side of you.
Maybe taking maybe two more questions. One from Sky Brights, who's going through a period of hardship, and any advice from spirit. So let me use the Osho deck. I would be cheating, but when I got your question, and I have the right to do this because there's no rules. So I but when I got your question, I visualized this card. So I didn't draw it, but I saw it. Courage. And this is one of my favorite in this deck. This is just the most beautiful. And so yes, you will get through your phase, and it's that part is the hardship, that part is the courage, and basically the light energy that's coming through. um and this is basically what I see: the courage, stay courageous, keep going, and out of a rock comes a beautiful flower, and all that green and yellow energies. What do you think of this card, Joanna?
I think it's beautiful. It's actually humbling. And when I watch the live streams, and even as I read the the question itself, my heart actually is sending out love because I know what hardship is, and not only financial hardship, but also mental hardship. Um, I'm bipolar, and when I think of hardship, I think of what it feels like when I'm in that deep depression state of um, hopelessness. And it's not hopelessness. In your card in particular, there's a petal that is down, a leaf that is down, but the rest of it is pulling up into the light. And it's a process because there's another little flower in the middle and then the larger flower actually standing in the light. So it's just a matter of um, prayer, individual, reflection, trust, and and knowing that there is light around you that you might not be able to see, but it's there.
And let's finish with Jeanette. Will my daughter find an employment soon? She's been looking for a long time, and I know a lot of people are looking for jobs right now. This is not easy. It is really not easy. Will my daughter find a job soon? Queen of Pentacles, absolutely. It is coming into her hand. I like the rabbit because that's the abundance to me. I know it has some sort of a Japanese feel, interestingly. What does this Japanese energy make you feel when it comes to this question?
You keep talking. I'm going to find something to
Yes.
when you're
Oh,
speaking
yeah.
of Japanese energy. Okay.
She will find a job soon. I feel, when I look at that Japanese energy, I get a sense of control. I feel she will be in a good position, a position where she will be valued. And I like this abundance. All the rabbits for me, they represents the abundance.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah,
I feel,
and how?
yes, it's coming, coming, coming. And she certainly shouldn't give up.
Speaking of the Japanese theme, the Ancestors Tarot deck, they have a section on the swords. It's all has to do with an Asian theme, and I got the Ace of Swords, and it is
Uh-huh.
a sword can also be a sign of strength, and
Yeah.
so I she's got to keep that mental picture in her mind, and it will come.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone who watched our show. Um, it's been amazing to have Joanna with me. Joanna, thank you so much for sharing your journey and who you are. And of course, I really recommend that you check her website, which I will post down below. And definitely her YouTube channel and subscribe and check her paranormal activity and also say hi to her. She's always on my channel, whether it's on a large group like this or in the members group, which is actually, I have a show today in 50 minutes, less than an hour. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate your support. And John, any final word?
To everyone that is uncertain out there, um, and I know this sounds cliche, but it's not. We love you, we care about you, and we're glad that you are here. And so, best wishes on your journeys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.